Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and very excited today. Going to be telling you about best teams for Fugue in Honkai Star Rail, regardless of whether you're a new player, a very late game player with plenty of 5-star limited characters. I promise you there will be a team for you in this video as well, so stick around to the end. Now, I always like to start off with a summary, and let's talk about the 3 things that excite me most about this character and why I think she's really a meta-changing character, especially for the break teams. Number 1. She offers you lots of colorless breaking for any character that she chooses. Let's say you have Kafka right now, and the enemy is not weak to lightning. You are going to have struggled a lot trying to break the enemy's weakness, but now Fugue can designate Kafka, and Kafka can start to weakness break the enemies as well. This is tremendous because that's one of the huge advantages of characters like Akirion, characters like Boothill, characters like Firefly as well. All these characters' colors breaking is so good, and if you think about it, she's very special in that sense because she's like an inverse Silverwolf. Silverwolf implants weaknesses. Fugue, on the other hand, gives you the ability to colorless break. So I think it's tremendous value. First character that is able to do this, to designate a character for colorless breaking. Very fantastic as well. She also does a lot of like buffing and whatever not, but many characters buff break effect already at this point in the game. I'm just telling you what makes them super special. Number 2. 2 times toughness breaking, and this is the critical thing that differentiates her from a character like Ranmei. Now, what is this 2 times toughness breaking? Let's use Kafka again because she's also a boss. Whenever you break an enemy once, they'll only have 1 weakness breaking bar, and then you break, if you will scale with your break effect, you pop the break and burn and whatever not, the fire break bar and whatever thing. Now with the 2 times toughness breaking, you can break Kafka twice. The first bar goes down, and then you will have a second bar with slightly lesser toughness equivalent, so you can do double the amount of break effect damage on their weakness toughness bar. This is very different from the likes of Ranmei, because if you think about it, Ranmei actually shifts the priority more towards super break rather than focusing on the break effect scaling weakness breaking on the bar. So Fugue, on the other hand, gives you a lot of toughness breaking, weakness breaking, which means the higher your break effect, now it's not just a wasted stat. You can actually use the stat a lot more by giving that big pop whenever you break the enemy, using physical, whether it's fire or whatever not, a lot of damage. Ranmei, on the other hand, you break once, they go on a 2-turn cycle, so it's a really long time as well. And you really are reliant with Harmony MC together with Ranmei to get the massive super break damage. Whereas, so for those of you who have tried taking Harmony MC out and just playing Ranmei alone, you will realize that you will struggle a little bit because of the lack of super break damage, especially if your teammate doesn't have it. Fugue, on the other hand, doesn't care about Harmony MC or Ranmei. She can be ran very independently, and that's why I want to talk about the 3rd thing, which is really fun. She offers you global super break. The best part about Ranmei, the best part about Harmony MC for break teams combined into one that gives you Fugue, she gives you a global super break ability, which lets you have a very huge flexibility in deciding team competitions, because now every single character can do break, very similar to Harmony MC popping that. And at the same time, you're not reliant on Harmony MC on the team to dish out more damage, weakness buff and stuff like that, break buffing and whatever not, because Fugue also gives you that double toughness, which makes up for it, allowing you to basically get a double combo 2-in-1, which means that your team comp flexibility will start to shine through, especially when we talk about all her team categories. We'll touch on it in a bit, but basically, long story short, when we pull a character, when we are trying to build teams, we want to know from a top-down approach, what are the teams that she fills in. There are 9 teams broadly in Honkai Star Rail right now, and if you're looking to build teams in the break, debuff, and hyper carry category, Fugue is your man, woman, fox, lady kind of thing. But let's first things first, of course, start off with Super Break 2.0. I really think, and I don't use the word 2.0 lightly, right? 2.0 because I think it's very meta changing. Firstly, you can run a typical team, and we will touch on the alternative in a little bit. So the first team, and let me just like make a double slide here. So first team is the one that everyone is going to be talking about. This is the template that you will see most people saying, and I will explain to you why this is not the only way shortly. But let's talk about the popular standard first. 1, you can either go with a Ranmei and Harmony MC alternative. That's what a lot of people will be telling you. If you don't have Ranmei, you can go for Fugue as well. If you are planning to migrate out of Harmony MC into Remembrance MC, Fugue and Ranmei work really well together, giving you a lot of accessibility options. But very importantly, wherever you go, whether it's Harmony MC, Fugue, Ranmei, you can't really go wrong with the 3 of them in a double kind of like support kind of category, the question then becomes your last few slots. Lingsha obviously is going to be great for utility and probably is best in slot. Your other options is Gallagher and possibly even Ho in the last slot too, so that you are able to give more energy to the rest of your team when they need it, more attack damage if you don't have either of them built and you don't really need so much break. The one thing that is great about Fugue and Lingsha or Gallagher is you have a lot of fire application in your team composition, which actually gives rise to the arrival of a very strong character like Rapper. Because previously, if you had like a triple fire team with, for example, Firefly over here, you might not be guaranteed that Firefly is the one that is going to break, which means that you might have some kind of competition between themselves, each unfight themselves for the final breaking bar. But in this case, Rapper's Imaginary offers you a very nice diversification out of all of them. Of course, you have colorless breaking from Fugue, but one thing to note is, of course, the effectiveness of that toughness breaking is reduced when you're not hitting the correct element. So Rapper shines really through in this category and probably is where she will begin to start to outperform characters like Firefly, because she attacks very often as well. She's very, very mobile. Her out allows her to move very, very quickly too. I think Rapper is quite strong, but you will see a lot of team compositions with Firefly together too. And at the same time, other characters that will shine through is characters like Boot Hill, because break scaling really would like a break buffer. Fugue offers that. You can even run the very, very popular Super Break Himiko as well, as a proxy for Firefly. For those of you who don't have her, this gives you a lot of fire breaking chance for Himiko because of that double break that a character like Fugue offers. So traditionally, you might not build Himiko for break, you might just run her with like purely attack, because all you're just looking for is that super break with for Harmony MC. But now with the double toughness breaking, some people might actually consider building a bit more break on Himiko, especially if you want to proc the fire break bar on the enemies as well. One last option in this category before I want to touch on the thing that is not as common is going to be, of course, Xue, who is also a break scaling character that is really very nice, does a lot of damage herself too. So this is pretty much going to be the template, but as we mentioned, there is more than meets the eye to just this character in Super Break teams. She changes the game state very, very well because she is the first one that you can actually run her solo in a break team, and giving rise to what I would like to call nothing new here, is the double super break team, the double break team. Previously, the issue with double break teams is you had two slots, one reserved for Harmony MC, one reserved for Rame, and that was the best in slot. If you deviated from that, it wasn't a good thing because you needed Harmony MC to provide you a lot of super break ability on the team, Rame to help you increase the damage. Now you have a 2-in-1 here, so you could even see yourself running, for example, a Rapper in one slot, you have a Firefly in the other slot, or if this is way too expensive for you, I won't even be surprised if some people might run, for example, a Himiko in one slot, and then you can have another character here, maybe, I don't know, Xue, or I don't know, Herta, or whatever not. Some characters in the second slot to help you do a lot more utility to bring it out. Of course, Herta might not be the best example, but I'm just trying to show you the flexibility of characters here. So you can run like a double DPS comp, which scales with break because of that global super break that Fugue provides, which is very incredible. Utility slot is pretty much straightforward here. It's the same few characters that benefit from break. No surprises here. These two characters, for those of you newer players wondering why they are so good, they scale with break, they do a lot of fire, they help provide the team with a lot of utility as well, healing, cleansing, whatever not. And this is, I think, the real change, because now you don't have to have a character that's dependent on Harmony MC, dependent on Runme. Any character, when you put together a Fugue, can kind of be a break character already, and that's what I think is really attractive, which is a really very nice segue into a break Aron. Now, one of the things about Fugue that is really very attractive about her is that she's also a nihility character and she's very independent. Why I think this team might work, especially if you have E0 Akron, is because you can run a Tingyun 5-star, a Fugue, Akron, and if you had, for example, Jiaoqiu, you can play him here. If you don't have a Jiaoqiu, I guess you can play like Pella or whatever other nihility character that you're currently running in the second slot over here, allowing you a very interesting double nihility comp. But at the same time, you can actually have your other characters in the roster breaking them too. Sometimes Lingsha likes to play here, sometimes you have Aventurine playing here as well. depending on your team compositions or whatever you're running with. But this is actually really very interesting because any of these two other characters, traditionally all the damage in a hyper carry Akirion team mostly will come from Akirion. But with Fugue here, every single character that can do some sort of AoE damage now all can super break enemies, and yet you help Akirion proc her damage, you help her also do super break at the same time, which I think is very, very incredible because now she has more instances of damage and she has colorless damage to begin with already. So you can just colorless break the enemy, and then after that every instance of damage becomes a super break instance thereafter because Fugue is on the field. So Fugue here doesn't buff Akirion a lot, but the point of Fugue here is that she buffs the teammates to help you do more damage. Traditionally, hyper carry Akirion, but with Fugue, I do see the supports coming into the picture a bit more. Everyone doing a lot more damage to increase your overall team's reduce the overall team's dependency on Akirion. And at this point, last part here, as mentioned, I promise you new player teams for everyone. And for any of you just joining in the current patch, maybe for the upcoming planet as well, you have Fugue, Harmony MC. These are going to be your two template characters for now. You can start off with so you can get a lot of damage going. You can have a lot of super break damage. I personally like running a character like Serval in the third slot because she acts very fast, she moves very often, she has a very low burst cost, massive AoE as well to help you keep proccing those super break numbers. Really fantastic. If you have Sherry, she's a little bit more single target but still very, very excellent and scales well. Both of these characters probably might not scale to the end game, but you can use them for a good like 6 months as you make your way towards the end game, helping you a lot in tackling content too. Utility slot, Lynx is probably my top pick for a total free character, but then again, you can't go wrong with Natasha, and if you have Gallagher is probably going to be my top choice out of all of them. And at this point, if you found this video helpful, do consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. And check out these two other videos we have here. We do this every single patch for every new character. And see you guys in the next video.